suppose I could. I suppose I could.
Why
I
couldn't
could.
you? Why
Thank
couldn't
you,
you?
Improv 502.
Exactly. I mean, you're already talking about bringing another talent anyways, but if you just need another character, why not voice it, you know? That's just what the way I connected the dots before we talked, so.
Right.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
Interest of the greater good for me to smoke a joint and calm down.
He'll fall an eight to prove that I'm great. And if he keeps talking Jack, I'm going to cut it to five.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Ville Chillin' Podcast. Today, we're talking to Ryan Pierson, writer, voice actor, producer, and composer. I don't know, I might have left something out, but how are you doing, man? How's everything going?
I'm doing all right. Yourself?
Great. Doing great. And so we've been kind of listening to stuff. I've listened to every episode of the show so far, and it's really interesting. So it should be awesome. Why don't you go ahead and just kind of give us your background and like how you came up with the concept, or what made you want to start doing Meat Team?
Yeah, totally. So when I was a kid, I wanted to be a writer, and then I found out about music, and I thought, hey, this is pretty cool. So in my younger years, I was just sort of, there's got to be a way of combining these two things, and this idea like came to me back in 2006, and I would just have fits of mania where just like it's gonna be so awesome to like do this. I just didn't know how, and I would. Throughout the years, I would just keep circling around to the idea and never really had the courage to do it. Each time, just one step forward and then just sort of abandoning the project. And then finally, one of my acquaintances has a podcast of his own, and I was helping him write a story or try to piece together the logic for a story. And as I was talking to him, just partially him inspiring me or encouraging me to do it, and me just sort of going off on my own web of nonsense and madness, just decided, yeah, now's the time to do it. So I just, pushed through.
That's cool. That's cool. I definitely understand the madness, and I mean, it's something that we all feel and we all understand, and it's I could definitely see like the show it seems like so chaotically organized. If that makes sense, way to put what I'm saying?
I make it. I absolutely understand that.
So, and when I first started listening to it, it reminded me of like Cyberpunk a little bit. Have you played the game or seen the anime or anything?
I've played a little bit of the game. Haven't seen the show.
Gotcha. It just kind of like, just as my brain was visualizing it, it was kind of using a lot of like that style. So very cool.
Well, I'll have to give that game another shot then.
And I think you described it kind of as like old talk radio or old radio. The first thing when I think of like old radio, almost like the H.G. Wells, and like the what is it, Beyond Worlds or
War of the Worlds?
Yes. So that was the first thing that kind of came to mind. And then once I started listening to the show, it's just really cool, a really cool collection of thoughts and ideas. Like how do you frame that? Like how do you put that together? Like how do you get inspired by that? Is that like kind of like random thoughts that bring that up, or inspirations, or
I just sort of go by instinct. I think the first episode, I need to do this, and then so what's the story going to be? And most like the story itself starting out was just a means to an end. I just want to sort of piece the world together and see how things are going to combine. So the first episode, I want to envision a place, and I sort of want to explore that place and just make it very nightmarish and throw in some dry humor here and there. And then episode 2, it took me so long to put together that eventually I just got frustrated and just, wrote down a story on my phone and just that's it. And I'd say everything since episode 3 has been more. I've been wanting to write better stories, more carefully constructed narratives, but still at that point I was sort of on a time crunch of, all right, I need to get this story done monthly. That's a lot of work to do. So I've got, so I want the story to be as good as possible, but I still need to just, okay, there's an idea, put that on the board. There's an idea, put that on the board, and then try to make it not loose, make all the themes in the story as tight as possible, and then record it and move on.
Gotcha. Yes, I love it. Like it sounds like when you get these ideas, like you're trying to hold on to them for when it's appropriate and when it makes sense for the story and for it to connect.
Yeah, there's a lot that I have to sort of scratch out. Just certain jokes where it just, man, that would be so good, but it's just so not connected to the story, and just maybe I can get to that joke later.
Well, and I think
other jokes that I like include, and then some of the response just unfortunately left in just because I thought it was funny.
Well, not to give away too much, but I love like that balance too, where it's telling the story, and then like that humor that you bring on. Sometimes it comes out of like left field, and it's like, oh, did I hear that? And then when I'll listen again, I'm like, yes, it's awesome. Like, definitely keeps your attention. Definitely, like,
yeah. There's, I think we're thinking of the same thing. I think maybe like episode 2, or just I wrote it, I thought it was funny, and then just as I'm working on the episode, just why am I doing this? But I like the joke too much.
Perfect though.
It is perfect. I mean, even just doing what we do half the time when it's not like an interview episode, we ask sometimes, like, what are we doing? Like, why are we doing this? But it's just something we want to do. And so that's something that's clear. You can tell you put so much time and energy into it. So the passion definitely comes through. So yeah, kudos to that. And when you're thinking about it, is each episode, it is like its own individual story, right? Because they almost seem so separate yet so similar in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like when I first messaged you, it was going to be a monthly thing. But as I'm working on the project, I want to make the anthology is fine. It works as like proof of concept, but I do want to try and explore like a sense of suspense or like cliffhangers and make like a multi-episode interconnected story, work with bigger themes and more intricate narratives, and just expound the insanity that is each episode into this longer journey. But yeah, right now season 1 is very much an anthology. Like each story, it's separate story.
Cool. And you, like I said, you can hear it, but it almost it seems so similar. So which, it's like short stories leading to just a bigger image or message. This might be a loaded question, but what do you think the message of the show is? Like, what are you trying to deliver to people with it?
Mostly just I want it to be imaginative and sort of be a immersive sonic landscape. Mostly, the stories themselves, I feel sort of veer towards a more human moralistic element. Either that or a sort of distortion of reality. That's just how I work it in my head. I'm not trying to sound pretentious, but
no, it's awesome.
But yeah, I just want it. I think there's I don't know why, because I've always been very obsessed with the whole radio show, like Lone Ranger, War of the Worlds, as you said. And I feel like there's like the audio only storytelling method is just the perfect medium of sort of being as immersive as like a movie is, but there's just enough sensory details there to let the viewer sort of create the world in their own head
Very
without
much.
having to while the audio allows it to sort of cement the emotive elements of the story.
And I can definitely see that. That's exactly why I mentioned Cyberpunk. And like when I said that, it was just kind of like the animation style of the show, but then kind of like the different like topics that you discuss or bring up along the story. You know, it's very kind of like body or conscious heavy. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and so that's why it sent me right back to like Cyberpunk. It's
Everything from like the combination of like the tone and the words and like the music in the background definitely helped you create like a visual in your head. And I'm sure, you know, I have a visual in my head of what you were saying, and Aaron
Mm-hmm.
does too, and probably totally different. And that's what's really cool about it, like how he was able to
Thank
do
you.
that.
Yeah, and so a little bit more about your creative process when you're thinking of these stories. Is it like, do you start with the concept or do you start with the character? How do you develop
Uh,
those characters?
uh, I think in every story that I start out, I sort of have a rule that I want the characters to be broken in some way, like perception broken, where just I either want them to see the world as nonsense or the world to just be nonsense and have them interact with it. But I don't know. For episode 4, I had to scrap so many story ideas after piecing it together, just because while the stories themselves might not be funny, I think episode 4 was probably more on like the horror side, but the sort of idea or the momentum behind it was just a person ignorantly walking further and further into their own damnation. So I just thought that was funny to me, and so I thought that was funny to me. So I wrote the story, and then as I progressed it more, just so much for humor. I just want to make this as terrifying as possible. I don't know if it's funny, that's cool, but I just that's sort of the motivation. So I want there to be a sort of disconnect between reality and the characters, and then I'll find things to fill that in.
I got you, and I think you do that well. Like now that you say that, I can kind of see it in every episode. It almost starts with that disconnect from reality, but then
Mhm.
at the end, it kind of loops back to the beginning almost, where it's like, oh no, this was the reality, and they
Mhm.
stepped away from it every time.
Right.
So yeah, I can definitely see that, and I've listened to them all, like probably a couple of times, just trying to
Well, thank you.
familiarize myself with it. Of course, man, I think there's a lot there, and what I think is interesting is that every time I listen to it, I pick up on a little bit more and a little bit more. You know, so when you think of doing these shows, you know, I think the first episode on SoundCloud has like over 200 listens. Do you think that everybody kind of picks up the same idea out of it, or do you think there's like 200 different ideas floating around? And like, do you do that on purpose? Because
I think um I th- uh I think I don't mind people having different interpretations of the episodes. There it's just I try to construct the narrative to the best that I see it, but you know, as long as I release it with a true sentiment, people can gather what other true sentiments. I think the biggest issue that I had, especially with episode 1 being a very experimental to me, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I made the mistake of sort of putting the setup for the jokes in the episode at the end, and then and then all the punchlines came before that. So it was just when I was sharing it with friends and sharing it with people that I know, they commented on the style, and it just they didn't really see the humor in anything, and just because they don't know it's a guy that's in hell for drunkenly texting exes.
Right.
So that's on me. That's my bad. but no, it's that's the one that's more abstract and I'm more understanding of. But I try to write the story, and I'm fine with people if people derive their own meanings or messages from it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like when I would listen back to it, like I would just pick up like little different elements that kind of like spoke to me at the time. I guess like one little thing would resonate or another thing would resonate just depending on when I was listening to it and what my brain caught on to, probably. But definitely a lot there, and it's really
cool.
Well, and it's perfect by itself. Like standalone, the audio again, like it's so descriptive. Like you see a visual in your head. Have you thought about going to like the video medium and like doing that part, like as far as turning it into like a video of some kind?
I have, and that is a venture that I do want to explore at some point, as soon as I can figure out a way that's, I want, if I were to move into video, I'd want it to enhance the story. If I took the same episodes now and added a video component to it, then I feel that the end product would be lesser than more. So, I mean, I like weird stuff. So if I ended up doing video stuff, I'd have to make sure the video offers a further confusion more than an explanation, I think.
Yes. Like to where it would just add to the story, where even more more abstract almost, to where I love that.
Yeah, but I'm not much of a visual person, so I'd probably, if I can get to the point where I can bring in people that do sort of envision things visually, then I would love to make Meet Team more of a team.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
So since you said like, Meet Team, how did you come up with the name? Like, how does that kind of resonate? Just like the name of the story? Is it?
It's an inside joke to myself. Back in I want to say 2006. I was editing away at my MySpace band page, coming up with different names, and for some reason, all my life I've loved palindromes. So I was just, I think the idea was Meet Race Car Team, and then after I wrote it down and like nodded in approval and looked at it, just wait a minute. EA. That's not a palindrome. Those numbers or those letters are mixed up. And so I sort of abandoned that idea. And I think a year before I actually made my first episode, I was just getting frustrated with just the instrumental music and making it all. It didn't feel fresh anymore. It didn't feel exciting to make anymore. And so I sort of obsessed myself over the notion of the dark souls of audio, because many video games are compared to the dark souls of this, where it's just this really uninviting introduction that eventually reaches its weight of value. And so in my frustration, that memory just sort of popped into my head and just, all right, we'll just Meet Team. That's it. And so I sort of, I love the idea that the core sentiment of the project name is how much of an idiot I was.
That's funny.
It puts a little smile on my face.
No, that's interesting, because I had no idea what you were gonna say there. Like I said, I could see it as being like we're just meat sacks, and it takes a team, it takes a village, or like even in like a lot of, or a couple of the episodes at least, have almost a medical sentiment to them. At least the first one and the last one, I think the fourth one. And so I was like, okay, is this some kind of medical thing? Like, I just wasn't sure.
No, but that's good. If I do any further interviews, I might have to borrow your answer for mine.
Feel free, feel free. That's just where my head went, because I'm just fascinated in like how it originated, how you started it, and it's such original concepts. So
Thank you.
really cool. Switching gears a little bit, what's like, so Mirador, right, is your musical artist name, I guess is what you would say. So what would you say your style is for that? Because I haven't had a chance to really check out any of the music. And have you featured any in the Meat Team episodes? Because I know you've had music breaks.
Yeah, the musical style for that is just I don't really have like a set structure. I sort of have like a war within myself with the musical project. A lot of times I want to like pursue beauty and make something that sounds really pretty and unique, I think. Other times I get really frustrated. I want to make just something that's just full of war. And both of those examples were released last year, with Inconvenience being this very cacophonous sort of frantic record, and then Something for the Ailments being more I think comforting, where it channels the sort of negative emotions and tries to, take a sad song and make it better. But let's see. I forget. I got off on my own tangent. Did I answer that question?
Yeah. And I think what is cool is I did see the albums and like the names of stuff, and I like how you did that album. Something for the ailments, but then it's something for like different emotions. So I'm definitely gonna check that out, and yeah, because I just didn't have time. I was out of town all last week, so.
Oh yeah, totally. Did you have a good trip?
Yeah, it was good. It was really a really good time. But yeah, so I'm definitely gonna check that out, and I think it's really cool. And I think I did see like one note or comparison that kind of almost said like emotional ambiance or something almost is how someone described you previously. So, do you play any instruments, or is it electronic? Do you produce it electronically, or what's the process there?
It's mostly electronic. I try to dabble in adding a few real world instruments when the moment comes. One of the collabs I did at the end of last year, I was working on stuff, and when you're working with the computer and synthesizers, it's a little bit easier. But when the time comes, when just like the song is there and it's just, man, this part needs a guitar part, then I'll bring it in. And it was let's see, what was the name of the song? It was I did a collab with The Impossibility of Silence, and the song I reworked was Big Blue Sky. And it was a very chill and ambient sort of song, and I just took it and just went wild with it. And then okay, now this needs explosive guitars, and I want to make it like a rock concert kind of vibe. So threw in three guitar parts. But mostly it's electronic.
Do you use like different programs? Or do you have like a favorite? Or
my favorite program to use is Renoise. It's just it's like a stroll in the park making music in that software, but it does have limitations. So if I need to actually record audio externally, I pretty much bounce over to Ableton, and which isn't the most fun interface, but it gets the job done. I've got Bitwig on my computer. I just I started getting mouth watery on different ways of approaching music. So I buy software, let it sit on my computer for a few years, and then I should probably get around to using that.
Gotcha.
Sounds like I am with video games. I have way too many games on Steam, and some of them I've never played.
Same.
That's awesome. So with the name, how did you decide on Mirador for this project, for the music project?
Back in 2012, I had just finished the last song of the EP, Sky After the Storm, and it was like in my early 20s at the time, early mid 20s, and I was just I always like making up words, so I was just sitting in my I think in my kitchen smoking a cigarette, and went full pretentious mode, and it was just, let's see, what series of syllables can I put together that feels just that sounds nice. And so eventually I think I was there just like playing my guitar and just like cha ka ma, just eventually I just sort of like found the three syllables that sort of work together. And when I tell the story, just the meaning of Mirador is it's pretty sounding stuff that doesn't mean anything.
That's interesting. That's interesting because I don't know if this could help, but I looked up the word just to see, or the name just to see if it was a word, and it's actually a Spanish term. So have you looked it up before? So it's like
I have
a lookout designator, or like giving extensive views of surrounding areas and stuff. And so when I saw that and I saw the something for the ailments, it almost connected the two to me. It's outside view looking, or outside looking in type thing.
Yeah, I remember. I think I sort of adopted that name for a few months before I actually did look it up, and then when I found out the actual word, I just remember just like that works. That works too.
That's funny. That I find that fascinating. It's so cool how like synchronicity, almost if you had to put a word to it.
Best word.
So, and so what are like your future plans? Are you still going to be doing like monthly shows for the episodes? Like, what are we looking at the future for Meat Team and Mirador?
I've got so this is going to be a busy month for me. I am working on episode 5. The way the episode just sort of unfolded, or the way the story unfolded, really does put a bow on this and the previous episodes. So I'm just going to call it a season there. I've also got I'm calling a sort of beta test for a live performance that I'm going to be doing at A Unplugged at Planet of the Tapes 4-4. Just a 10-minute set to sort of explore how this thing can be communicated live. So both of those things I'm going to be working on this month. I don't know. I want to spend a few times, just instead of working on like larger stories, like I'm doing now, like 10, 20-minute episodes, as I try to prepare for season 2 and try to put together the larger narrative with proper cliffhangers and suspense. I might try to release sort of clues or route. I want little raindrops or dewdrops of what the next story is going to be. I haven't really decided yet as far as what's going to be released after episode 5, but I mean, there's so many ways to have fun with it, and I don't know. I'm going to be really excited for the big stories. So there are ways to have fun with it. I'll think of stuff to do.
Of course, and it's awesome. Again, to kind of echo what I said earlier, you can see like how passionate you are about it. You can see that you really just enjoy doing it and just telling the stories. As far as the storytelling, since Stefan's the one who kind of connected us, What made you want to take one of his classes without, giving away all of his secrets? What made you want to take an improv class? And then how would you say it's going to help you in the future? And when did you attend?
Let's see. I attended in January, just this year. And the reason for signing up for it was multifaceted. I think the big one is just I wanted to be around other people that are just as imaginative and in an environment that is based in imagination. That's the community reason. The other reason is whenever I am recording episodes, I have to read off of a script, and anytime I sort of run into a mental roadblock, or I feel that there's sort of a leap in logic that's being done when I am reciting the script, I get really nervous. I stall out, and I do a lot of nervous burping. And I thought that if I engaged in improv, I'd be able to think on my feet more, especially now that I'm sort of working more with bringing in other talent to help me with the voice acting and the storytelling. Then being able to sort of riff off of that would be a beneficial skill to have.
Would you say it's helped you? Do you think it was pretty beneficial?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the improv helped, but also just some of the people I met in the Improv 502 class have been really cool. I'm one of the people in my class that I took is actually coming by tomorrow to help me with voice acting, and some other talent that I met there is going to be helping me with season 2, provided our schedules align.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Because if you hadn't taken that class, we probably wouldn't be talking. So
Right.
That's even cooler to me. It let us connect, and then if you're already getting not even just your original goal out of taking the class, like you said, community makes a huge difference, and having people behind you supporting the ideas and the concepts, it goes a long way. So
it's fantastic. It's surprising how rewarding that decision to take that class was, just in the way that it unfolded. Just at the same time, just when I'm signing up for it, I don't know, my instinct told me that it was the right call, but I logically couldn't work it out. But yeah, it was a great time, great people, great instructors, and it was overall just magnificent decision.
Awesome. Not that we're trying to plug the improv class, but it was you're the first person I've talked to that has experienced one of the actual classes. So that's just really cool to hear that.
Oh yeah, of course. There's no need in this conversation to try to plug the wonderful Improv 502 class in this conversation. Yeah, sure, it's great. It was a fantastic decision, but there's no reason that people listening to this should go search up Improv 502 and look at, and sign up for one of their fantastic classes.
Yes,
exactly. That's amazing. I love that sentiment. Would you say that taking the class has helped with character development for your shows, or that it will? And the only reason I ask that is I know Stefan's talked about being able to teach you how to do 10 different characters in one class.
Oh yeah, that was a pretty intense class. I think we had to go on for 2 minutes, maybe 1 minute or two. I don't know. However long it was, it felt like 10 or 20 minutes, just every so often, every couple of seconds, just change characters. And just beforehand, I only had 3 characters or 3 different voices in my repertoire. I said that wrong. I know I said that wrong.
No, I think that's right. That's how I say it.
In my arsenal. In my arsenal. And then so it was challenging. I don't know. I think I'm still sort of digesting. Um, so it takes a little while to for things to move to the cerebral into the internal.
Mhm.
So I don't I don't know yet if that valuable character class uh, has sort of made it into my methodology, but I'm sure it'll be helpful down the line.
It seems like it would be, and I want to take a class for very different reasons,
Hmm.
and it just it would help even with this, and then after hearing it helps with parenting.
Hmm.
I definitely need some help there, but it seems like it could help so many different aspects, so it's interesting to see how you're going to adapt it. And with you saying you want to do longer storylines later, I
Hmm.
imagine more characters coming in, so
Yeah,
it'll be really cool.
I know. I know Mike Judge is able to make so many stories using different characters and voicing 90% of them. Uh, I don't know. It's just something after that class. It might be something that I could do. It just doesn't really occur to me. I just think, oh, I don't want to just I don't want my product to just be my voice all over the place. Even if I am using different voices, I'll still know.
Yeah.
But I think now that you bring it up, yeah, that I suppose I could. I suppose I could.
Why
I
couldn't
could.
you? Why
Thank
couldn't
you,
you?
Improv 502.
Exactly. I mean, you're already talking about bringing another talent anyways, but if you
Hmm.
just need another character, why not voice it,
Hmm.
Just that's just what the way I connected the dots before we talked. So
Right.
that's my chaotic brain at work here.
There's just it's just I remember there are skits online of people doing self interviews, and it's just it's just I think it was the Whitest Kids like a sketch comedy group where they're making fun of the Timmy character, because he's they watched a secret interview video where it's just him talking to himself, just that's great, thank you. So that's something I'm sort of hesitant about, but yeah, I could do that. What do you think, Ryan? Yeah, that sounds great, Ryan.
See,
Perfect.
that's awesome. Oh yeah. So you said coming up you have the Planet of the Tapes you're
Hmm.
planning on doing. So is that going to be a live version of the Meat Team show, or is just that kind of concept, just a storytelling?
Hmm. Just a storytelling, because I'm just incapable of being efficient. I guess that I'm writing an entire script just for the performance, and I don't know if I'll even repeat it after that. I think I'm just doomed to just make stuff forever and ever, like Sisyphus pushing a boulder up a hill. I think I'll write a story. I might record it and release it, or I might just I don't know. But I think the way I'm inclined to go about it is just each performance is just going to be a brand new thing. I kind of want to work in that method.
I think that's really cool, though. It's very much like going to a concert or like a poetry slam type thing. It's the
Hmm.
same concept, and everyone's art is different. Everyone's expression is different. And if you
Hmm.
feel like you just need to do it once, just a little short story to get out there, that makes sense to me. That's
Hmm.
just called art.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool. And you said it's at Planet of the Tapes,
Hmm.
April 4th. Is it that one?
Yeah, April 4th. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Um, again, this is about Meat Team, so we're not going to be plugging the open mic night, Aeon Plugged, first Thursday of every month at Planet of the Tapes. Fantastic music from a variety of artists. We're not going to plug that.
We don't talk about that.
People don't need to people don't need to know about Aeon Plugged at Planet of the Tapes first Thursday of every month. They just need to know that
Meat Team's
I'm
going
going
to
to be
be there.
playing. Meat Team is going to be doing a beta test of his/my performance.
Cool.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, if we can make it happen. Thursdays
Definitely.
can be iffy with a kid,
Mhm.
but if we can, we'll definitely try to be there. I think it's a really cool concept, and again, it's just if you choose to release it live or recorded, cool. But if not, I at least want to know what you're brewing. I want to know what's going on.
Mhm.
FOMO at work,
Right.
So that's really cool. Do you have anything planned for Mirador in the future, or is it meet team all the time right now?
Shoot. I don't know. As I explore more with Meat Team, it just I feel like if I do return to Mirador, I can be a little bit more loose with it. And but I don't know. Right now, I'm really excited about combining the music with the story. I'm just all about, like, I haven't written stuff in so long that now that my brain is sort of activated to like storytelling, it's just really exciting how to sort of tell the best story and rearrange things to tell really interesting stories. That's where my brain is now.
Gotcha. And this is kind of really taking a turn into left field. Did you play any tabletop games, D&D or anything growing up, or do you still? Because I played when I was younger. I could never DM and tell the story, but
Mhm.
that's just where my brain goes.
I had a short bout of D&D. I went there just because people that I liked played D&D, and they invited me, and just, yeah, sure, I'd love to hang out and see what this rigmarole is all about. And I remember that first game. I was just sort of taken aback about just how imaginative the game is. So it's something I've been wanting to return to, if I could just not be so busy with my projects and just allow myself to have a little bit of recreational imagination time.
Yeah, I hear you. They do online games and stuff now, so it saves a little bit of time. You don't have to leave the house, but you can get into there's a website online where you just roll digitally and that kind of stuff, but you can still participate in the story and not always dedicated to every week. So just one way
Cool.
you could possibly jump into it again if you were so inclined. And I just know it's storytellers, like if I was a creative in any way, really, and was into storytelling or story creating, that's where I would go. I would see, you can get inspiration from listening to other people, and
That
yeah.
sounds fascinating. Yeah, that sounds definitely going to look into that. I had to, after you mentioned it, just like, well, we're doing this online. No harm in just doing a quick Google search. All right, I'm back in the
Absolutely.
conversation.
No, go for it. I'm glad that you'd be looking into it, because I think it is a good outlet for a lot of storytellers.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to run a game and then imagine that, and then even storytellers just participating. It could be a break from the creative side, but you could still find inspiration and participate in a story, and it's nothing that you're 100% dedicated to all the time. So that's just, again, that's where my chaotic brain goes. So
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it was definitely fun the few times I played it.
yeah. So I think I've about covered everything I wanted to ask. Do you have anything you want to plug? Anything more? You, like, say, you got episode 5 coming up, live show at Planet of the Tapes on 4/4. Anything else going on you want to plug?
Oh shoot! Just every artist that I I don't want to bore your audience by like listing off every artist that I've featured, but I have it all, like, they're all in the credits of every episode. It's just really exciting that they have that I know these fantastic musicians that are willing to let me use their music either as a segment or as a backdrop for the story that's being told. Um, it's just I'm happy that I have a project where I can sort of include that and have that sort of musical camaraderie inside one project. But let's see, just to like name a few. No, I'm gonna name them. There's Classy Vampire, Force and the Photons, Scene, SINNE. Who else? Oh shoot, I want to list them all off. I can't. I'm
Take your
spacing right
time.
now. I'm
It's
in
okay.
interview, but let's see who else. Oh, Violent Meals. That's a good one. Um, let's see, Acid Gray and Shunk from episode 4. So many good ones. So many.
Aaron's over here trying to like Google every one of them. And he's trying to keep
Trying
up.
to hit them. Yeah, so
Yeah. Oh, Duke
Episode
Spaceship. How
2.
could I forget Duke Spaceship? Oh my gosh. Yeah, they're
And
all good. They're
Are
all
these
really,
all
really
like
good.
mostly like local people, or is it?
I'm people that I know from electronic forums. I'm trying to find more local artists to, it'd be cool to, you know, hang out with the musicians I feature, but just anybody that makes good music that I feel doesn't get enough attention for the quality stuff that they're making. I want to include.
But that's awesome. So even so, a lot of these people you collaborated with, like kind of online, you met them like through like
Mhm.
different forums and stuff, and was able to connect that way. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, that's
that.
really cool. Yeah, and episode 5, it's super special because before I just sort of collaborated with people that I'm friends with now, but these were the songs I get to feature in episode 5 are stuff that I would be listening to in my late teens, early 20s, and onward. Just, oh man, this is the greatest stuff. And then I finally got the cojones to reach out to them and just, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, I'm such a fan of your music. Can I use your music in my project? And they're like, yeah. And it just, oh my gosh. So it's just I get to, some of the most inspirational music that is just so deeply embedded in my heart, I get to use in episode 5, and that's going to be, great.
Love that. That's awesome. How they can inspire you, and then
Mhm.
goes full circle for you to be able to use some of their stuff in your art too.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
love that.
I'm so happy to have a project where I can wear that love on my sleeve.
Yes.
Yeah, and kudos to you for actually making sure to shout out every single person on every track, because some people don't always shout them out, and you're using music from different people, and then not just
Mhm.
in the description of the shows, but on Facebook too. Like just going
Mhm.
through the Meat Team Facebook, I saw a few of them
Oh
on
yeah,
there.
totally.
So
Yeah, I really want it to be if I can, if I, I've got the story and I've got the music that I make, but if I can, sort of bring other people with me, if I can get people to listen to the episodes and listen to the music, then I want I want to share the love with as many artists as I can.
we definitely appreciate that. That's half of our mission here, support others. We just want to support as many people in and around Louisville, part of the Louisville scene,
Hmm.
doing anything. We've said it before on show. We just want to talk to cool people doing cool things.
Hmm.
And I think you fit that bill perfectly with everything
Oh.
you're doing, and even like some of the mentality behind it, and hearing how you came up with some of this stuff is just kind of funny, because it's not at all what I was thinking. I was just connecting dots in my head. So it's been
Mhm.
awesome talking to you and getting to know you and everything, and some of the man behind the media type thing.
The
So.
man behind the beat.
Yes.
Exactly. I missed that one. That's nice. Hell yeah, man. You got anything else?
No, that was perfect.
All right. Well, we are looking forward to episode 5. I know I am. And I will definitely try, if we can, to get to that April 4th show. That sounds cool. I've seen a few things going on at that venue, Planet of the Tapes. Just haven't made it out there, so I'd like to see the space too.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna love it. It's a great spot. That Planet of the Tapes that Aeon plugged occurs every first Thursday of every month. Right? And also Improv 502 is really cool too.
You know, I've heard of them too. They seem really cool.
Oh, absolutely.
Decent.
So awesome, man. It was definitely awesome talking to you. Thanks for giving us your time too and letting us ask these questions and, you know, kind of dive into it a little more. It was great conversation.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me on.
I guess with that, we will see everybody else next time, and definitely make sure to check out any upcoming media from Meat Team. We'll have the Facebook, the SoundCloud, and whatever other links you want in there. Just send them our way, and we'll put them in the description. So make sure to check them out. If you're in the Louisville area, make sure to check out the live show at Planet of the Tapes. And again, we will see you all next time.
Thank you. Bye.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
Interest of the greater good for me to smoke a joint and calm down.
I am the greatest. He'll fall an ace to prove that I'm great. And if he keeps talking gas, I'm going to cut it to 5.